Sorry I haven't been hosting for a while, guys. I was busy growing this mustache.
I'm uncomfortable.
Reviews are up for the GeForce RTX 5080, NVIDIA's latest AI product formerly known as a GPU. And for many, including Linus Tech Tip Sebastian, it's falling a bit flat. In native rendering performance at 1440p, which is a lot of P, the RTX 5080 is roughly 10% better than the 4080 Super and 7% better than AMD's RX 7900 XTX. Those leads increased to 20% and 10% respectively at 4K. But the 5080 is still well behind the 4090 thanks in no small part to NVIDIA keeping the VRAM limited to 16 little gigabytes, while the 4090 has 24 gigabytes, and it does not like to share. This release is disappointing to enthusiasts who remember that the RTX 4080 outperformed the 3090 and 3090 Ti at launch. Although NVIDIA gave it a $1,200 price tag, the 5080 only costs $1,000, so it's missing a whole $200 worth of GPU juice, apparently. But no matter how mid reviewers say the RTX 50 series cards are so far, they're still gonna be hard to find. NVIDIA has warned of availability issues to significant demand, probably because people just love AI so much and the bubble is definitely not popping.
I didn't hear anything. It's solid.
I'll be over here AIing, guys. Speaking of which, there's a fresh new Chinese AI model to give US investors more panic attacks. E-commerce giant Alibaba has released Qwen 2.5 Max, which the company says outperforms DeepSeek V3, although it can't be run locally. How are they doing this? Well, after DeepSeek's own model indicated to Redditors that it sometimes confuses itself with ChatGPT, OpenAI told the Financial Times it has evidence that DeepSeek trained models on data generated by ChatGPT, which was famously trained only on original text handwritten by Sam Altman. The manifesto, we call it.
It's artisanal.
Microsoft says they're investigating these claims. In case you forgot, they're best friends with OpenAI, which we know because thanks to social media, we can follow the friendships and rivalries of tech CEOs like they're Minecraft YouTubers. Now, as we said on Monday, the US stock market panicked in response to the release of DeepSeek AI's models. But does that make sense? I mean, there are some reports that while DeepSeek's chatbots were trained on NVIDIA GPUs, when you use one on the web, now it's running on AI chips made by Huawei, which would give US investors some reason to be worried about NVIDIA's monopoly. However, whether these Chinese models are actually as cheap to train and use as DeepSeek claims is being debated by analysts. And Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei argues the fact Chinese companies have to turn to less powerful hardware is proof that American restrictions on the export of AI chips are working. But let's say, sure, DeepSeek is way more efficient, as explained by Sam Altman. That doesn't mean AI companies are going to buy less hardware.
That $500 billion server, we could do 250.
Keep it coming. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't check out our sponsor, the Drop BMR1 V2 near-field monitors.
They're compact speakers that can be customized with Drop BMR1 grills in laser purple, Shinai sage, and white. Minimalism. But despite their small size, they use balanced mode radiation, or BMR, drivers to deliver powerful full-range audio while running 25% cooler than its predecessor. Plus, its Bluetooth capability has been updated to allow several devices to be stored, and its input jack has been redesigned with automatic muting to stop those pesky plug insertion noises. Purchase the Drop BMR1 V2 near-field monitors at the link in the description.
I thought that was all the stories, but it turns out I saved a quick bit in my mustache. Mustache!
Enough!
Google has open sourced Pebble OS, the operating system that powered Pebble smartwatches, which you may not be old enough to remember. They were bought by Fitbit, which was bought by Google in 2021. Well, the original founder of Pebble and Super Giga Chad, Eric Migakovsky, says the open sourcing means he's bringing Pebble back. His new team is working on an open source smartwatch with a focused core set of features that users can tinker with so they don't have to depend on companies to fix stuff like the blue triangle of death that briefly afflicted Garmin wearables this week. I mean, blue triangle? That's not even a thing.
They made it up.
What's next, pink tetrahedrons? US President Donald Trump said in a speech on Monday that his government will place tariffs on the import of computer chips and semiconductors to return production of these essential goods to the United States. The Biden administration's CHIPS Act tried to do this by planning to invest $52 billion in domestic chip foundries. But Trump says they had it the wrong way around. Chip companies don't need money, they need an incentive to not pay what Trump says could be a 25, 50, even 100% tax.
Wow, it's like he's here.
And that's why the US is collaborating with every country in the world to make sure they all place those tariffs too. That way TSMC will have no choice.
It's foolproof.
Comcast is rolling out new tech in select cities that it says could reduce latency by 78% in what the telecom giant calls an ultra-low lag connectivity experience. They put experience on the end, it makes it funny. The experience uses a tech standard that's been in the works for a while called L4S, which stands for low latency, low loss, scalable throughput, girl boss. L4S sounds like a Craigslist list, you know. You tell me in the comments what it means.
I give you an S, eh?
I'm an L, I'm looking for an S. If Comcast claims are true, this might make you happier with your existing internet, which is good, because the new chair of the FCC is killing his predecessor's proposal, making it easier for renters to switch internet service providers. Love the one you're with? Is that so hard?
No one commits anymore.
And a coder has published a new open source tar pit tool that tackles the problem of AI training web crawlers hogging websites' resources by trapping those web crawlers in an infinite, randomly generated maze of linked pages. The tool is called Nepenthes, as in the biological name for a genus of carnivorous plants. The tool is just like those, except while tropical insects are scary and huge, they're not known for hitting the same servers a million times in 24 hours. Although whoever wrote this has clearly never been to Botswana. No bot flies though, just keep your carapaces out of my skin.
I just really want to reference these bot flies.